All right, hey guys, so today we're going to be doing a phlebotomy lesson on a real live patient. So first of all, I already have my supplies here. In real life, I would check her arm first to see which needle I need because of course, if they have a small fragile vein, if we're doing a pediatric geriatric patient, we would use a butterfly. But in this case, I'm doing a lesson on straight needle or Vacutainer system, okay? So we're going to go ahead and get started. Now I'm going to put my tourniquet on. In real life, you want to check both arms and you want to go for whichever arm is the best. But I already know I'm going to go here. Now, if you look at her arm, she has a beautiful vein. Like this is the type of person that when they come in the lab, you are very happy because it's a very good vein, right? Everybody is not going to be like that. But in this case, she has a very good vein. So I'm going to tie the tourniquet on. And as you guys know, you want to tie the tourniquet 3 to 4 inches above the elbow, depending on how big your hand is or how big your fingers is. That's maybe about 2 to 3 fingers. So we're going to tie that there. I do have a video on how to tie the tourniquet. So here, I'm not going to get into that. I'm just going to go ahead and tie it on there. So I've already verified her name and date of birth and made sure it was okay for me to do this, right? So I have the tourniquet on. I'm just going to have her make a fist. Now, I'm not going to have her pump because if you pump, that can alter the results. So we're going to actually just have her make a fist there. And as you can see, once she made that fist, her vein became even more prominent, okay? So I'm going to feel that there. And the way we feel for a vein, we want to palpate, right? We're not going to be feeling like this. We're going to palpate just like that. And the vein is actually spongy. It kind of bounces right back at you. All right, so once I find her vein, because this tourniquet should not be on for more than a minute, we're going to go ahead and release it. Or as we say, pop the tourniquet. All right, I'm going to go ahead and clean it. And when we clean, we want to clean from the inside out. Circular motion. Wherever you're going to stick, you want to just wipe there and then keep working your way out, okay? All right, so while that's drying, I'm going to go ahead and get my supplies together. So I'm going to assemble my needle there. Put that there. I'm going to open up my Band-Aid because we want everything already together. We don't want to stick our patient and then have to do all of this. We want to have everything already ready. All right, so I'm going to put that there. Now my dirty stuff, I'm just going to kind of put that to the side because I don't want it all to get mixed in, right? So I'm going to put that over there. Okay. All right, I got my gauze here. Now, this is very important. When you are doing phlebotomy, you're going to have a needle inside your patient's arm. You don't want to be moving that needle and all over the place. So whatever hand you're going to be sticking with, just remember your supplies are going to be next to the opposite hand, okay? Because once you stick that patient, your hand can never move. The only hand that should be moving is your opposite hand, okay? So in my case, I'm right-handed. I'm going to stick with my right hand. So I'm going to make sure all of my supplies is on the left side. Scoot up for me a little bit. All right, so now I got everything ready. Also, another thing too, I usually sit my tubes in the order of draw, in the order that I'm going to pick them up, right? So if you know the order of draw, you know that this light blue is going to go first. Now, I'm just going to draw the light blue, but I just wanted to put 2 tubes right here to show an example. If you're doing multiple tubes, just go ahead and sit them in the order you're going to draw them. That way, it's easier to just pick them up and keep going, okay? All right, so I'm going to go ahead and put her tourniquet on. We don't want to put the tourniquet on until we are ready to stick, okay? So this is the last thing I'm going to do right before I stick. All righty, make a fist for me. And then can you take this fist and put it right up under your elbow? Right there, yep. All righty, so I already cleaned it. Now I'm going to take my cap off and I'm going to hold her arm right here and I'm going to taunt the skin. Taunting the skin also allows us to anchor the vein so the vein does not move. Okay? So I'm just going to go here. My bevel is up. So I'm going to go in there. I'm only going to draw this 1 tube. Now the blood is flowing, so go ahead and open up your hand. We're going to pop that tourniquet. Remember, tourniquet tube needle. Okay, so we're going to remove that tube. Alrighty, notice I use my flange. Alright, and then I'm going to have her apply pressure. Lock your needle or activate the safety device as soon as you come out, okay? You don't want to stick yourself. So we're going to lock right away, and then we're going to put it in the shock container, okay? Now, can you apply pressure for a moment? Sure. I'm going to have you kind of lift your arm up and apply pressure. Now, while your patient is applying pressure, because you want to continue to apply pressure and allow it to stop bleeding before you apply the Band-Aid, right? So I'm going to have, while she's applying pressure, that's when I'm going to go ahead and label my tube with her name, date of birth, my initials, the date, as well as the time, okay? And depending on where you work, you may have a label for your tubes, okay? So once I do that, I'm going to label my tubes, and then I am going to give her a Band-Aid. One thing that I want to point out when I was drawing her blood, as I was drawing her blood, my hand was steady, right? So as I was drawing her blood, I was using my phalanges. In my phlebotomy video that I did before, I talked about the importance of using your phalanges, right? So when you're going in, you want to hold your phalange like this. Coming out, you want to press against it, because what happens is, if you don't do that, as you're pulling the tube out, it's going to pull the needle out as well. So in order to keep that needle from coming out, you want to press on your flange. So again, we want to go in and hold our flange. Coming out, we want to press against it, either with our index finger or your thumb. Either way, okay? One thing too I want to mention, remember the tubes have additives in it, so we have to invert it. So normally when I'm drawing blood, as I am sitting my tube down, I normally just invert it a few times as I sit it down, and then I'll go back and invert it 8 to 10 times or 5 times, depending on the tube, because each tube has a certain amount of times it needs to be inverted. Alrighty guys, so that's that.